Something very unexpected happened in our last Legacy episode. Our Legacy heir died. It was an accidental death. I was trying to fulfill his live fast aspiration, which calls for an urban myth, and you have to summon them twice. Well, apparently, if you summon an urban myth and it fails, and then you summon it again and it fails, it kills your sim. I did not know that. So I spent the night thinking about it, and I feel very unsatisfied with him dying. So I have to fix this. I have never revived a sim before. I have never done it. Normally in my games, when I have a death happen, I let it happen. I don't stop it. I don't plead with the Reaper, and I have never resurrected a sim. So in my game, deaths are permanent. So I've never revived anyone before. But for Scott, I feel very unsatisfied with his death. He was a teenager. He was our heir. We did the whole high school pack with him. He never even got a girlfriend. He never had his first kiss, mostly because none of the girls wanted to have anything to do with him. I had a whole storyline set in my head for this character, and I didn't get to play it through. And I feel just very unsatisfied, very unhappy with this outcome. So, in this episode, we will be trying to revive Scott. I've never done it, so I am very curious how this is gonna work. Lacey is here. She's just devastated. She had a talk with June, though, who did finally come clean and tell her that he did indeed turn into a vampire. You know, he's been kind of hiding this from her for quite a while, and he did come clean with her on that. But the only reason why he did is because he had heard rumors of this house in Glimmerbrook, and if you go to this house, there is this really old witch there, and if you pay her, she will help bring back loved ones. So he told Lacey this, and while Lacey was just furious that he had kept this part of himself from her, her grief is just kind of overwhelming on that, and it's not something she really wants to tackle right now. Right now, her mind is on Scott. Really, one of the last interactions they had before the summoning of the urban myth was them fighting. Scott had started turning into an extremely rebellious teenager, and he was fighting with Lacey all the time. So during almost his entire teenage years, they didn't get along very well at all. In fact, Lacey kept pushing him and pushing him and just pushing him to get all these good grades so he could make something of himself, something better than what she is from when she was a teen, and it just pushed him away. So Lacey has a lot of regrets right now. So she's gonna do this. She's gonna go to the spellcaster's house, and she's gonna see what she can do for her. June is also very sad. He kind of hates that he had lied to Lacey for so long, but now he's come clean, so he's actually happier for it, but he didn't want it to be like this. Lacey's asking for advice. She has no clue what this payment to the spellcaster is going to be. She's asking him if he has any ideas on what it could possibly be, but June just doesn't know. Wow, out of nowhere, Lacey just got this sentiment about June. Festering grudge. Lacey has a deep-seated grudge against June. It's hard to forget or forgive the past, which may make being around June feel very unpleasant for Lacey. This just came up out of nowhere. She asked him for advice, and then this popped up right after. Don't you just love it when The Sims compliments your story? Sometimes they ruin your stories, but other times it so masterfully works with your story so well. My gosh, the whole household is just crying and sad. Oh, I feel terrible. Oh, that is so weird. Ari is at the house. What? You didn't want anything to do with him when he was alive. I don't know why she's here. She hated Scott when he was alive, but now suddenly she's here. We're just gonna ignore that. Oh no! Ruby's attacking her. Oh my gosh, she attacked her. Wow. Oh, that's really funny. So they have decided that Lacey will be going into work that night, but after they will be making a very, very long trip to Glimmerbrook to see the witch. So Lacey is just here kind of psyching herself up to get ready for work. And here she is. She's going off to work now. She just does not want to do this. Started pregnancy for Nancy Landgrab with Gunther Munch? Whoa, what? What happened to her husband? What? I'm using MC's story progression instead of EA's. EA's is way too quick, way too fast. So I am just using MC command centers. I did have it turned off so I could use EA's, but I really don't like EA's. Lacey is now back from work. It is currently 3 in the morning on Friday, so they're gonna get a little bit of sleep if they can, and then on Saturday morning, they will be going to the very long ways away Glimmerbrook to go see this spellcaster. So they live in Copperdale. Glimmerbrook is pretty far away, so this is going to be a very long trip for them. Okay, so it is 6 a.m. on Saturday. They just simply couldn't wait any longer to go. So they will be going all the way from Copperdale to Glimmerbrook, and it's going to take them a while. We're going to say it took them probably about a day's trip to get over here because it is quite far. And sadly, it is now Love Day. It's really bad timing for Love Day. But this is the spellcaster's home. It is so cute. They are here at the house. Just a little cottage off all on its own in Glimmerbrook. June is introducing them now. So upon first impression on this spellcaster in Amber, Lacey gets a very untrustworthy feeling from the spellcaster. She's not entirely sure why, but she just doesn't quite trust her. She's still planning on going through with it though. So it's at this point that Amber, the spellcaster, is telling them what it is that she requires as payment. And the payment is quite steep. So Amber is very much aware that they have a cow plant at their house. They're not sure how she knows this, but she does. And she tells them that these cow plants are extremely, extremely valuable to her. And that if she wants her son back, all she has to do is give her an essence from the cow plant, which is kind of difficult to do because the only way you can get that is if the cow plant eats someone first, which is, a crazy request, but this is what Amber is requesting of them. So Lacey does agree to do this for her. And she's not telling her what that serum does or why she would want it, but that she does require serum in the cow plant. But at this point, Lacey and June are desperate. And she agrees to this deal, even though she does not trust the spellcaster at all. She's still gonna do it. So she's throwing it in at 2 pieces at a time. The wishing well is glowing. Oh my gosh. He's back. Oh, I'm so happy. Aww, we finally have him back. Scott has Miracle Revival. 2 arms, check. 2 legs, check. Can't walk through walls, check. Not only has Scott returned to the living, but he's formed a pact with the Reaper granting instant resurrection in case of any unexpected deaths. Scott can sleep soundly knowing he'll live out a long, full life until passing away at a ripe old age. Oh, I'm so happy. He still has all of his traits, but it reset his life state to the very beginning as a teenager. I might have to cheat that because I kind of don't like that too much. But, guys, on the bright side, he did finish this part of his aspiration, summon an urban myth twice. He was able to finish that. So there is that. He died doing it, but he was able to do it. I'm so happy we have him back. I really did feel like it was just not the right time for us to lose a sim. So Scott has met the spellcaster and he thinks she is an interesting sim. So because it was an entire day's drive to get over here to Glimmerbrook, they really can't drive all the way back to their home. So they had set up this rental house. So the 3 of them will be staying here for the night before they start heading back home. And this is the rental that they got. It is so big and spacious. It's really kind of more than what they needed. But, you know, after all the long drive, all the stuff that they just had to go through, it's pretty perfect. They can kind of stay here for a day and relax. Here is Scott. I am so happy to have him back. And it's quite odd because he was resurrected on Love Day of all days, which is hilarious to me because he was such a failure with love. Nobody liked him. He couldn't get any dates. It started making him very mean and kind of an evil sim, which he does have the trait for. So for everything to go just right and have him come back on Love Day is kind of ironic all on its own, but it fits really well. And that was not planned. None of this was planned in any way. The Sims just kind of gives you its own storylines sometimes. We're gonna have Lacey go and serve some breakfast for the family. Josh is at home with a babysitter, so they don't have to worry about him. But yeah, they'll be spending the day here at this house. And it has started to snow. I believe today is also the first day of it snowing for the year. We will be calling this the end of our episode for now. This was quite the ride. It was so much fun to play through. Really hectic, honestly, for me it was. But I think we will all be very happy to have Scott back, who is more than likely going to be the heir for the next generation. I really did not realize how attached I had gotten to this character until he was gone. So I had to bring him back. And this was the first time I had ever tried it. The first time I've ever brought back a sim. So I am quite pleased with this. But let me know down below in the comments what you thought of this episode. Are you happy Scott's back? Do you think I shouldn't have brought him back? But let me know, and also give me a like if you liked this episode. And if you want to see what happens in this family next, hit subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.